Have you ever wondered why we have rules, who makes them, and how they affect our daily lives? From the taxes we pay on a morning coffee to the laws that govern our schools and our workplaces, politics is all around us. It's the invisible force that shapes our societies, our opportunities, and even our futures. Political science is the key that unlocks our understanding of this complex, fascinating world. It's the systematic study of power, government, and public life. It asks how we organize ourselves as communities, how decisions are made for the collective good, and why different countries have vastly different systems of rule. Not just for politicians or academics, but for every citizen who wants to make sense of the world. Understanding politics is a vital skill for active, informed citizenship. It lets us look beyond headlines and grasp the deeper currents driving political events. Why do people vote the way they do? What causes wars between nations? How can we create societies that are fair and just for everyone? These are the questions political science tackles. By studying it, we learn to think critically, analyze different points of view, and form reasoned opinions. To begin our exploration, we must first get a firm grasp on two of the most fundamental concepts, politics and government. At its core, politics is the process through which groups of people make collective decisions. Think of it as managing disagreements and cooperating to achieve common goals. This process inevitably involves power, the ability to influence others. Politics is happening when a family decides on a budget. Politics is happening when students elect a class president. Politics is happening when a country debates a new law. It's the art and science of who gets what, when, and how. Distribution of resources, negotiation of interests, the struggle to have one's voice heard. If politics is the process, government is the institution. Government means the formal structures with authority to make and enforce rules. It holds legitimate power to create laws. It collects taxes and provides public services like roads and schools. It maintains order. A government consists of people, legislators, judges, presidents, civil servants, and institutions. Parliaments, courts, ministries that carry out the business of the state. Political science is a rich and dynamic field that can be broadly understood as having two distinct but interconnected faces, the theoretical and the practical. The theoretical side is often called normative political science. This aspect is concerned with the world of should or ought. It delves into questions of values, ethics, ideals. It asks, what is the best form of government? What constitutes a just society? What are the moral foundations of political authority? Thinkers in this tradition, from ancient philosophers like Plato, Aristotle, to modern ones like John Rawls, are not just describing the world as it is, they are prescribing how it ought to be. They build complex arguments about concepts like liberty, equality, justice. On the other hand, we have the practical or empirical side of political science. This face of the discipline is focused on the world of is. Empirical political scientists are like detectives of the political world. Why do people in rural areas tend to vote for a particular party? How does a country's economic condition affect its political stability? What factors make international negotiations more likely to succeed? To answer these questions, they gather and analyze data, whether through surveys. Political science is more than just an academic subject. It serves several crucial functions that are vital for the health and progress of any society. One of its primary functions is to help us understand the complex machinery of government and public life. It provides a systematic framework for making sense of how political institutions are structured and how they operate. Legislatures, courts, executive branches. By studying political science, we learn the formal and informal rules of the political game. Another key function is the analysis of political ideas and ideologies. Liberalism, conservatism, socialism, nationalism. These ideologies offer different visions of the ideal society and prescribe different ways to achieve it. Furthermore, political science studies political behavior. This involves investigating why individuals and groups act as they do in the political arena. Why do people choose to vote or not? What influences public opinion? How do social movements form and gain momentum? Finally, political science aims to promote good governance and educate citizens. By analyzing what works and what doesn't across political systems worldwide, the discipline can offer practical advice to policymakers on how to design more effective, efficient. The discipline of political science is, honestly, a broad church. It covers many specialized subfields, each focusing on a different part of political life. One of the oldest and most foundational areas is political theory or political philosophy. This field asks the big questions: justice, power, rights, liberty. Plato, Machiavelli, Hannah Arendt. Another major subfield is comparative politics. Scholars compare democratic institutions of the United States and the United Kingdom, analyze the causes of revolutions in different countries, or examine why some nations are wealthy while others remain poor. By comparing and contrasting, they develop general theories about how politics works. International relations, or IR, studies politics between countries. It examines how nation-states interact with each other, as well as international organizations like the United Nations, and non-state actors like multinational corporations, or non-state armed groups. Key IR topics include the causes of war and peace, the dynamics of international trade, the challenges of global environmental problems, and the workings of international law. Public administration studies the implementation of government policy. Political economy examines the relationship between politics and the economy. Political science does not exist in a vacuum. It is deeply interdisciplinary. It builds bridges to many areas of knowledge. Political science at center with arrows to history, sociology, economics, law, psychology. One of its closest relatives is history. History provides the raw material for political analysis. We can't understand today's political systems without their development over time. Historians document past events, revolutions, political figures. Political scientists use historical evidence to test theories and spot long-term patterns. Another crucial connection is sociology. Sociology, human society, social relationships, culture. Politics is social, behavior is shaped by class, religion, race, ethnicity. Economics links strongly political economy, economists, production, distribution, consumption. Finally, law and psychology. Law, public law, constitutions, judicial system. Psychology explains individual political behavior. Political psychology studies personality, emotions. One of the most enduring debates surrounding political science is whether it can rightfully be called a science. When we think of science, we often picture disciplines like chemistry, physics. We imagine controlled experiments, precise measurements, universal laws. For example, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius at sea level. Can political science reach that level of precision and predictability? The simple answer is no, but that doesn't disqualify it as a science. The central challenge is its subject matter, human beings. Unlike atoms' chemical compounds, humans have consciousness, values, and the ability to make unpredictable choices. So political science is best seen as a social science. It shares the scientific method, forming hypotheses, gathering and analyzing evidence, and peer review. As we have seen, political science is a multifaceted discipline that offers a powerful lens to view the world. It is the systematic study of power, a force that shapes nearly every aspect of our lives, personal freedoms, economic opportunities. By defining the core concepts of politics and government, it gives us the basic vocabulary to engage in public life. A practical tool for understanding the headlines, evaluating politicians' promises, and making sense of events at the local, national, and global levels. It arms us to look beneath the surface and ask critical questions. The field's dual nature, normative political theory and empirical practical analysis, is a unique strength. It lets us dream of a more just world while grounding us in how power is actually wielded. Ultimately, political science matters because it fuels effective citizenship, informed critical to be an active, conscious participant.